You're finding that your beats are sounding a little bit amateurish. Maybe the drums aren't hitting so hard, or there's no texture or no depth going on. Well, today I thought it'd be fun to go through 5 different levels of production tips and tricks to get your beats from sounding like this to sounding like this every single time. Think of it like a video game. Each level you add is gonna add depth, polish, and emotion so that your beats are gonna go from amateur to studio ready hits. Let's get into it, starting with level 1, texture and warmth. First thing we're gonna do is add something called ambience. Vinyl, mechanical hum, birds, rain, anything from nature is gonna be a great bet to start with here. Here's a couple things that you could use. You can find tons of vinyl sound effects online. I also use these plugins. Vinyl has a great mechanical and electrical hum. I also use Cymatic's Origin, which has a massive range of vinyl, cassette noise, all perfect to add a little bit of that ambiance to see how this beat sounds with some rain and some vinyl crackle. Next thing, are you using buses to put some reverb on your melodic instruments? If you're not putting reverb on, you're not gonna have a sense of space and depth. Don't be too crazy with it, and definitely low cut so you're getting rid of some of that low mud. A little bit of space is gonna go a long way for all of your melodies. And this one is gonna be so simple, it's gonna make a massive difference long term. Saturation, but more importantly, tape saturation. I use Chow tape, it's completely free. You could also use Abbey Road vinyl, J37, soft tube tape. All those are paid options, but I'm gonna use Chow tape, which is free. Put up that saturation, you can get some nice tape warmth, and it's gonna compress it slightly. It's gonna make your sounds more pleasant to the ear, as well as give it a tiny little bit of wobble and flutter to give it a bit of movement. Level 2, movement and dynamics. First thing for level 2, we're gonna use something called reverse reverb. This is one of the best tricks for creating smooth transitions. What you can do is, we're gonna grab a chord from this E piano. First thing you do, grab the chord and bounce it in place. Now what you're gonna wanna do is add a little bit of reverb on there. I'm baking in the reverb to the chord. Then we'll wanna reverse it. Now I've got a nice spacey swell in. We're gonna place this right to the downbeat of the track so it swells right into when the beat drops. To go a step further, you could also add some other effects. White noise swelling up, hit of a vocal stab, and I've also added a cymbal with some delay. Put all that together with our reverse reverb, and now I've got a beautiful transition to add the drums in. This is what it sounds like without the transition, and now what it sounds like with all the effects in. Boom. Just before we get to level 3, if you're digging these tips, hit that subscribe and bell notification for me. All right, level 3, contrast, raw versus polished. One thing that's gonna take your beats to another level is gonna be playing with unquantized or slightly out of tune elements. So with your melodies, you're not gonna wanna be perfectly on the grid with your key sounds. Having a little bit of played in feel is gonna make them feel that much more natural and real. Another way to do this is through modulation. You could use chorus, vibrato, something to just get it a little bit out of tune. These guitars in this track are a great example. I've got a wah pedal on one, rotor cabinet on another one, and I got these key sounds with some chow tape, wobble and flutter. Next up is creative panning. I use a plugin called Pancake, or you can use something called Pan Man. Basically automatically bounces your track from left to right. It's great for adding width and depth and getting things out of the way of the center. Instead of using a plugin to bounce from left to right, you can also click it in with automation. Tap in your points every bar or two and then move it from the left to the right. Now this trick's gonna help your drums massively. Parallel compression. So what I do is I create a send and slam the compressor. I'll show you the settings in a moment. And what's gonna happen is your drums are gonna have an enhanced transient, allowing them to cut through the mix and be more audible without pushing the volume that crazy. Quick settings, 30 millisecond attack, very quick release, and a hard knee. Suddenly, your drums hit hard, your vocals are cutting through, and you got cool things going from left to right, creating sonic interest. Next thing on level 3 is gonna be the mentality of your mix. You're gonna wanna have shiny, bright highs, and you're gonna have nice, clear, strong lows. The mids, we're gonna have them slightly scooped. This is gonna create room for the artist to sing and have a lot of space without things getting cluttered. Here's an EQ of how I mentally think about my mix. I'm not actually gonna be doing this on every single track, scooping the mids out and having big lows and big highs. I'm mentally thinking about everything that I add needs to fit this specific mixing style. Level 4, organic drums added punch. Layering acoustic samples or Foley sounds on your digital drums is gonna take them to another level. Here's a track that I made, and first thing I did was put in a real drum kit and filtered it out, but just gave it a little bit of pocket. I'm stacking the snare with a snap, a clap, digital sounds, and then a rim from a real snare. You also see here that I'm stacking a digital hi-hat with these natural sounding hats. Suddenly, your grooves aren't just programmed, you're actually playing like a real drummer. And again, don't over quantize with your organic elements. We want them to feel a little bit off the grid, especially utilizing velocity to make it hit harder and softer like a person would. I love envelope shapers and transient designers. Transient Master by Native Instruments is a great way to add knock and punch to your drums. I put it on my drum bus and I just put it up by 5-10% and it's gonna make your drums hit that much harder. Listen to it bypassed. And now listen to it engaged. Pro tip, this trick is gonna change your mixes forever. Put all of your drums and bass into a group and saturate it. I'm using saturation knob because it's free and I'm using OTT. Listen to what happens when I bypass these plugins. When I engage them. Drums just pop right out to the front. They're right in your face. This single-handedly is gonna change your mixes forever. You're welcome. Use this trick, please, to level up your drums. Here's a super fun trick that I learned from a YouTuber named Loner, who's a great music production YouTuber. To make things feel more lived in or more organic, he used a trick to emulate Dijon's Omni mic trick, which is you're gonna use your phone and record the speakers playing whatever track you're working on, and you're gonna make some noise in the room. This is gonna make it feel very lively. I recorded 2 takes. I panned one to the left and one to the right. I don't know if I would recommend doing this on every single track, but for those ones that need that little lift of organic liveliness, this is a great way to do it. And level 5, creative sauce and character. One thing I love to do is chop up a chord progression. So I'll play it in normally, maybe I'll quantize it, but then what I'm gonna do is chop it up. So you have 2 options. One is just throw it in a sampler and you can just replay the chord progression in. A great option. I sometimes like to hand sample it. I'm gonna take the endings of every chord off and it's gonna make it feel like it's glitching out or cutting off. And I love this sound. You get a couple little clicks in there. A really great way to get some unorthodox rhythms and grooves, which can help with inspiring new creative ideas. Next thing, guitar pedals as effects. You've all heard a guitar being run through a pedal. Something like this. This pedal is called a chroma console, which is a super sick pedal for creating lo-fi vibes. But one thing that I love to do is instead of sending just a guitar, I'll send my vocals, electric pianos, synths through into these guitar pedals. Check out a couple things that I can do, sending some vocals and some electric pianos through into these pedals, chroma console and mood, to create some ambiance and really cool textures. Supposed to do. This is one of my favorite tricks to do right now. It just feels so much different when you're getting to turn a knob and it creates real change in your session. It's very different to just moving a mouse and changing the sounds. I do believe that this turns a very normal track into something truly unique because it's very hard to emulate whatever you just did in that moment. And just like that, that's all 5 levels. Each level packed with tips and tricks to level up your production from an amateur to studio level artist ready productions. Use one trick or use them all to see yourself leveling up. I got a Patreon link in the description if you're wanting any loops, samples, presets, templates. Got all that coming every single week. This past week, I actually made a MIDI R&B chord progression kit with 25 chord progressions that you can download right now if you choose to join. I would love to see you there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another video.